I mean, what do you think? Are you buying, like, because the polls we know were famously wrong. So what do you think now that they're favoring Trump?
Yeah, they were wrong against Trump in both elections. And
Right.
so I think that the problem is it's difficult to say, but some polling firms, they'll take yesteryear's results and they will adjust today's results for those. So they will resample things. So they'll assume that there's such a proportion of Democrats, Republicans, it's especially on a partisan base or on ideological issues.
Okay.
If they're doing that, they might be underestimating Trump right now. The problem for the Democrats is that Trump is riding 6 points ahead of where he was in 2020 when he supposedly barely lost, and about 4 points ahead of where he was in 2016 when he won, albeit narrowly. If nothing else
I'm sorry,
remains
4
unchanged,
points. He's 4 points better now than he was in 16 or
yeah,
worse? Oh, 4 points better. Okay.
better, and 6 or 7 points ahead of where he was in 2020 when he supposedly narrowly lost. If nothing else changes, and I can't imagine it will, I don't imagine the border crisis is going away. I don't imagine that the diplomacy crisis that the Biden administration has helped to cause are going away, et cetera, et cetera. Inflation remains sticky, prices remain up. If nothing else changes, I would expect Trump to coast to victory.
Yeah, I would
Actually,
think, unless what if you had to put a percentage chance, because the last hurdle for him really between now and then is this New York trial. And because the thing in Georgia fell apart, the
the
classified
Mar-a-Lago
documents,
case,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and then the classified documents thing isn't even going to happen till after he's president again.
Well, also they just had the unredacted paperwork that was filed that Jack Smith was trying to cover up. I talked about it earlier, and it is damning for that case.
Really, I didn't see that. Can you? Can you?
You didn't see that?
No. Can you?
Oh
Can
my
you
God!
enlighten me?
Yeah, the case with regards to the National Archives is fascinating because Jack Smith was trying to cover up some of this paperwork and have it heavily redacted, and the court decided no, it doesn't need to be. And what it shows is actually Donald Trump openly and his team, of course, through
Yeah.
his team mainly because he's got other things to do, cooperating with the National Archives. And what appears to have happened is that a singular individual at the National Archives got impatient and helped to trigger an FBI raid.
Oh,
Which is
interesting.
probably why Jack Smith wanted that redacted.
Interesting. Yeah.
I was looking through that. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh,
What did I even just read?
yeah. Well, that's okay. So that's okay. That explains that. Yeah, 400 pages were just unredacted. Is that an additional 400, or is that what Styx is talking about? Julie Kelly reported on it. Is that
Yes,
from?
that's the new redaction, the unredactions,
Oh, okay.
I believe.
Yeah. So,
It's a whole batch of material that is completely damning for the DOJ's case. I don't think, though, that the Bragg case is going to take him down either. Nobody cares if he's found guilty of business fraud. Nobody gives a fuck.
well, I'm talking about the hush money case.
Hmm.
Do you think? I mean, because there is actually.
Well, that is the
Jail-
hush money case.
Oh, that's the Bragg case. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. The allegation, the reason
The
why they
fraud.
upgraded to
Yes.
they
Yeah. I
they
get that.
upgraded it to felonies because they're like, well, but he made these payments through this lawyer fraudulently to cover up an additional crime, and it's like, what was the crime? He had sex with somebody.
Yeah, and he paid her hush money, and it didn't even work. So, like,
Yeah.
w-
And
you know,
and by the way, I am so surprised that somebody like Donald Trump had sex with a porn star.
I for one was shocked when I
I
heard.
was disappointed. I
Yeah.
thought he was a very virtuous, moral Christian,
Yeah, I
almost a
defended
virgin,
him.
basically.
Yeah, I stood on the corners and argued with people about that terrible grab him by the. That was AI. I don't believe he ever said that women will let you grab them by the pussy. I think that, yeah,
Uh,
Donald Trump is practically godlike.
yes, I
Yeah,
mean he's the reincarnate. I mean, supposedly we're supposed to believe as fans of his that he's the reincarnation of Jesus, are we not?
yeah, I thought
So we
so.
can't believe that he ever sinned or anything like.
Yeah, I think that That was that was kind of just when I was starting to get into like following politics a little bit more.
No.
And I remember like that was their big thing. Like their big, we got him. And I was like, what do you even mean? This is the biggest nothing burger I've ever seen in my life. What are you talking about? He
Donald
said
Trump
they'll
had
let
sex.
you. Yeah, Donald Trump is a pervy guy. Okay, don't care.
He used to be beloved for that shit back in the 80s. I mean,
when he was a
always,
Democrat.
yeah, he was always dancing around with, the models and stuff like that. And he was a bit of a playboy and nobody had a problem with it. It was expected.
Well, yeah, I mean, nobody buys him and Melania's marriage is one of intellectual, he's like,
No, of course not. It's a
yeah,
business marriage.
yeah. I mean, like,
I think they genuinely, on some level, I do genuinely think they care about each other.
sure,
But it's
yeah,
not in the same dynamic as like the cozy cottage core marriage that, some people want.
yeah,
I don't think that it's anything like that. I think it's more like they have mutual respect. They understand each other. They facilitate each other. They had a kid together, so that matters too. And that's sort of Trump and Melania's marriage. I don't think that it has anything to do with like the sappy, drippy romance that's
right,
normally associated with marriage. No,
yeah, and that's
he's
fine.
not that kind of he's not that kind of person.
I mean, that's his third, at least second or third marriage anyway.
Third, yeah.
So like, and by the way, don't care. And I don't
Yeah.
think any like if it was his 10th, I wouldn't care. And my worry is though, do you think so in a world where this is the last hurdle, just hypothetically, this trial in New York, if in a world where this is the last, because he needs to get his ass out on the campaign trail now. Like
Yeah.
it's time. It's May. By the time he's going to be done with his court, let's say, they're going to find him guilty of something. As long as he stays out of jail.
I don't think it matters if he does stay at it. And in fact, I think if they imprison him, they're crazy and it'll actually boost him further.
Well, it could.
The tragic irony is if they find him guilty of a felony and are crazy enough to put him in a jail cell, it probably boosts his polling.
Well, I think that I think that they know that, which is why they won't. I think this is more like just the gag order. All this stuff is meant to hamper his campaign ability and to drag him down. I mean, he looks rough now. He's had a stressful couple of years. Let's say he doesn't go to jail and whatever.
Yeah.
What's his play now? He's got to go back to those purple states that he lost, right? He doesn't need to go back to Texas. He doesn't need to, because he's got to go to the Midwest, I think. Like he's got to get Wisconsin and Michigan back and Minnesota.
Yeah.
Get two of them.
But he can't be too obvious about just targeting the competitive states. He does have to also go and bolster support in other states as well, where he's going to get a standing ovation. And then he can put that. I mean, think about it. 20 years ago, what was a political campaign? TV ads and TV
letters
interviews and
in the
bullshit.
mail.
Yeah, bullshit like that. What is it now? It's free advertising that you get for free on the internet. So you hold rallies. Well, what better way to energize it and make sure that that goes viral or at least is covered? The legacy media is not going to cover any of his rallies other than Fox sometimes. What's the best way to do that? You go to a very sympathetic area where you can count on 20,000 people showing up. And then you make sure to get lots and lots of shots and you encourage people to take shots too. He does have to canvass, especially Pennsylvania. Georgia, I think probably he's already got. I don't think he needs to canvass there as much. He should campaign there, but
can he get Arizona back? Can he mea culpa? People have forgotten about the McCain shit now. I think as long as he doesn't say anything new, I think, especially because they're profoundly affected by illegal immigration now, illegal aliens.
Yeah,
I think he can probably get them back. Nevada, he lost Nevada, didn't he? Or did he win it?
He had lost it, but now he's ahead in it. I would say focus on 3 states mainly. Number 1 would be Pennsylvania because that's very close.
That's 18. Is 15 electorals? It's a lot.
No, it's more than that.
Yeah.
Another one would be Michigan because he's ahead in Michigan. He's got the advantage, but you need to shore it up and make sure that you win it because you probably can't win without it. And another one would be actually targeting Virginia. Now, Virginia is a state that currently is not considered to be in play by a lot of people. It's not being considered in the swing state polling. I think that Donald Trump, if he were to canvass it heavily enough, could rob Virginia from the Democrats, and that would be the end.
That would be it. Yeah, if he flips it, I mean, if he flips a state, it's over. You know?
Yeah. And Virginia is a fairly big state, and it's not. I mean, the Republicans seem to think that if a state goes 1 point in favor of the Democrats, it's a lost cause because they love losing, and so they don't want to win. I think Donald Trump should know better and realize, hey, if I hold a half a dozen rallies here in the right places, I can probably win this state just with increased turnout.
I hope he shows up a lot in Wisconsin because Biden has been.
I think Wisconsin will be a tough sell, but it is possible that he wins it.
I mean, obviously I'm going to vote for him, but like for me, I'm looking big picture and it's like, I mean, he lost Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Michigan. Get one of them back.
Yeah.
I don't care which.
He supposedly lost them, Hong Kong.
Yes, Hong Kong. But I mean, the way they were counted, he lost all three. And then in 2016, he had 2 of 3. He had Wisconsin and he had Michigan in 2016, I think. Is that right?
Well, he also won Pennsylvania.
And he had Pennsylvania. So I think that
and Arizona.
Yeah, he lost a lot. Yeah, he lost Arizona in 2020, Nevada. These are
I can't remember if he won Nevada in 2016. Actually,
yeah, I think I
thought it went blue in 2016 as well, but more narrowly.
Yeah, I think you're right. 2016. I mean, he had a lot of he had a lot of electoral votes in 2016, so he might have had it.
I just remember that Wisconsin was the hardest state to judge. I thought that Donald Trump would win in the Republican primaries, but Cruz managed to pull it off. I was going based on the polling. And then actually I had thought that that Hillary Clinton would win Wisconsin. I got all the other states right. Wisconsin was the one that I got wrong. I got it wrong in the primaries and in the general election.
I couldn't believe Hillary lost in Wisconsin.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was close, but I mean, I was like, what?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. And obviously but she just was so unlikable. Okay, so Clinton got, so he didn't get Nevada. Clinton won Nevada in 2016.
Yeah, I thought so, yeah.
Yeah, so if I go here, so Clinton had, I mean, obviously,
keep in mind, Minnesota's within
play
reach too.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying
people are underestimating the number of states that are in play. I mean, Nevada's one of them.
Arizona,
Minnesota, Virginia, Maine potentially as well.
Wisconsin, Michigan.
In theory, New Hampshire, although I think that's probably going to go blue.
Yeah, I mean, New Hampshire, Maryland, maybe? No. Maryland's not.
No, Maryland.
Yeah, Pennsylvania.
Maryland will be blue.
Yeah, Pennsylvania was the big conquest he had in 2016, right?
Yeah, Maryland will probably be more blue than New York, actually, this time around. That's the other thing. We got to see the New York margin, regardless of the election results. How close can it be? Because in the last couple of cycles, it has become...
It's getting close.